Jadon Sancho, Hudson-Odoi, and Vinicius Junior are some of the current wonderkids in the world of football who look like they're going to go on to have very successful careers at the highest level. Well, in this video, I want to give you 5 habits that all of these players possess and other wonderkids who actually go on to be successful possess, so that you can start applying them to your game and start reaping the benefits. That's coming up next. When I'm busy doing totally legitimate things, I rely on OneFootball to give me all the news stories, fixtures, results, and more from the world of football. Download it for free today. Hey guys, if you haven't been here before, this is Simply Soccer. My name is Dave, and on this channel, we release weekly soccer tip, technique, and training videos just like this one to help you improve your game and stand out on the pitch. So if you have not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so you don't miss any of the videos that we release. Now, like I already said, I want to go over 5 habits of wonder kids who actually go on to be successful or are very successful at a young age and then sustain that for most of their careers, usually because they have some of these habits, so that you can start applying them to your game and so that you can see some great benefits from doing so. So number 1 is having flair, and all 3 of the players that are in the title of this video have this in abundance. And this means, being creative, being able to take players on, being able to make things happen, having unpredictability to your game despite having older players around you. Jadon Sancho, for example, is keeping more experienced older players out of the team. And the way he's able to do that is because he's not afraid to express himself. He's not afraid to go out there and show the flair, the tenacity, the skill that he possesses. If you are too afraid to show what you can do, you're not going to play. But because he's not afraid of this, he goes out and does what he can do. He's successful and is starting for one of the best teams in Europe. The second characteristic and habit that these players have is fearlessness. They have the habit of, even when a situation that even the more experienced players would buckle under, they approach it with fearlessness. And this is so important for any successful player, and it's sometimes why some wonder kids or players with potential early on don't go on to do that well. It's a mindset mentality issue, and that is they get overcome by the pressure or overcome by fear. But if you look at all 3 of these guys, the reason they've been able to succeed so early on with their talent is because they're fearless. Whether that's on a micro or macro scale. Jadon Sancho left Man City to go to a completely new country to play for one of the other best teams in Europe, and that takes a level of fearlessness. A lot of players never do that because there's fear there. It's a new culture, it's a new team, you don't speak the language, yet he went off and did it. Hudson-Odoi, although it never materialized, was willing to go to Bayern to do the same thing. Vinicius Junior, went from Brazil to Spain. You need to have this level of fearlessness. Now, it might not be to that scale, but in matches, are you playing with a fire in your belly? Are you playing with confidence and fearlessness? One thing, a quote I really like is, if you are good enough, you're old enough. And it's something that actually Brendan Rodgers said to Raheem Sterling when Raheem Sterling was getting into the Liverpool starting lineup at like 17, 18 years old. It doesn't matter how old you are, if you have the confidence to show your ability and you have ability, you'll be playing effectively and also getting into the team. The third habit is to take your chances. And this will apply to not just football, but many other areas in life. And when you're taking your chances, it just gives you more opportunities to succeed. And I'm not just talking about on the pitch, taking your chances. Like when you get in there and you have a chance to impress, you need to take it. But this also means in other ways. Like I already mentioned that Jadon Sancho left one of the best teams in the world to go play for another team where he thought he could get more game time, and look how well that's paid off. Hudson-Odoi again was willing to do that. You need to take the chances when they come your way. Any opportunity that comes your way, you need to grab with 2 hands, approach it fearlessly like we already went over. But if you keep letting these chances pass you by, it's going to hurt you. It's going to harm you. Now, it might just be in your team. You might be a bench player right now, but you're working really hard to get into the first team, and then you're given an opportunity. You really have to make sure you take that chance. And then if you do well and stay in the team, keep yourself in the team. This also has to do with being proactive. You're not just sitting back and waiting for things to happen. And yes, you want to take the chances that kind of come out of nowhere, but you're doing everything you can to create opportunities for yourself. Habit number 4 is a habit that all players should have, but you're not going to succeed as a younger player, especially over the long term if you don't, and that's going the extra mile. You know, putting in the work that other players are not willing to put in. Now, if you make it to the professional level, you already to a certain degree have probably done that, because 99.9% or whatever it is of footballers never make it to the pro level. And so you have to be willing to do what other players are not in order to get there. And that doesn't just mean your training, that means your diet, that means the amount of rest and recovery you're getting, that means, again, being proactive. Are you doing the things that are going to help you grow as a player? Are you doing the things, going that extra mile, that are going to help you get onto a better team, that are going to help you get in front of better coaches who are a part of those better teams, that are going to help you get recruited for college or for a pro team and get a trial? You know, are you really doing everything that you can? Are you working hard and smart? So basically, just ask yourself, am I doing everything that I can? And if the answer is no, look for what else you can do to help yourself improve more and also get to a higher level. So the last characteristic, the last habit, is football IQ, and developing this as much as you can. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but all of the best players in the world, all of the players that have gone on to be very successful, all have incredible football intelligence. We can all think of some very skillful, some very talented players that never got to the heights they could have been at because they had poor decision making, or their football IQ, for whatever reason, just wasn't there. This is an area often neglected by many players, and many people like to use the justification that it's something you're born with or born without to not work on it. The fact of the matter is, any skill is developable, if that's a word. So you can develop football IQ. You look at Jadon Sancho. He's a very smart player. You know, he's really good at taking people on, but he also has a lot of assists. Why? Because that comes from football intelligence and decision making. You know, Hudson-Odoi, when he plays, he's been getting a few goals, assists. Vinicius Junior, again, actually something he could work on is his football IQ. But when he does, I mean, imagine the type of player that he's going to be. This is such an important area of your game, along with the mental side, and they're kind of tied together, that you need to work on. Actively work on improving your football IQ, analyze the games, see how you can apply it to your own to make smarter and better decisions in matches. And if you do that, you know, that's just going to take your game to the next level. Again, you can think of the Pirlos, the Xabi Alonsos. These players weren't necessarily the most skillful. They weren't the fastest. They didn't have the best physical attributes compared to other players, but they played at the highest level because they were so damn smart when it came to football. They had the football intelligence, and that can be developed. And all of these kids, the wonder kids that we've mentioned, have this as well and are continually developing it. So make sure you are not overlooking this area of your game because it can be huge. You can have all the skill in the world, but if you don't know when to use the skill or don't know what to do in different situations, you might as well have no skill. All right, guys, so those were 5 habits of wonder kids like Jadon Sancho, Hudson-Odoi, Vinicius Junior, and there's plenty of others, you know, out there. But if you start cultivating some of these habits, you are just going to improve as a player. You know, you can learn from the players like Ronaldo. You can learn from the wonder kids that are actually succeeding through what they're doing, what their habits are, how they train. And so I really, really suggest you take some of these and apply them to your own game. And if you do that consistently, you will see results. Thanks once again, guys, for tuning into this video. As always, make sure you like it down below and you leave me a comment of what other videos you want to see. As always, I will have 2 videos come up on screen so you can continue to learn, watch, improve your game, and stand out on the pitch. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.